Inside, there's some horse feed, big bag of dog food, big bag of duck food. The dogs do get a little bit of kibble just for texture and vitamins with their meals. Bath day. What a good girl. Just getting nice and wet first before I put the shampoo on her. She's starting to get yeasty smelly. That's a problem for her, especially in the summer. Be quiet, brothers. We're having some snuggle time. We're having some snuggle time. My sweet baby. You're just sitting on my lap. What a sweet baby. I love him so. I love him so. He's being so good. Look at that. So good. You ready to get down? Sweet baby, oh my heart. Squirtle there just got in trouble for mating. He's really interested in Dublin, but the geese were sounding the alarm because they wanted him to cut it short. Good job, babies, good job. That will be to my advantage when all these ducklings get to be mating age, because I will not have a healthy ratio. I do plan to order some female ducklings, or there's a poultry farm up in, I think it's Greenville, Texas, so probably an hour and a half from here, that sells adult ducks. That's not as cost effective for me, but in the long run it might, I might break even, because raising ducklings from a day old until they're 5 months old and can be mixed in with the flock and the drakes, that costs money. So $20 per hen, if I just make a drive and pick up some adult girls, that might be a good trade-off. I'll try to capture it a little sooner the next time the geese are doing the amazing work they do at preventing our girls from being overmated. Honey. Honey. No, ma'am. No, ma'am. What was that about? What was that about? A feather standing up in the yard because it's down in a hole in the grass. I hope that wasn't a yard sign for some kind of critter. Don't eat that, Cooper. Breakfast time. Be nice to her, please. They haven't been getting in this water much. Again, I think there might be a snapping turtle in the pond out back, and now they're associating ponds with snapping turtles, so I threw a little of the food onto the water. This is the Missouri waterfowl maintenance that's specially formulated to float And it's also specially formulated to provide the correct protein percent and niacin level. Boy, the geese are kind of on a tear today. And my Easter ducklings are starting to get matured. Let's see what we have in here. All right, there's 1 egg. 2. I collected 9 eggs yesterday. It seems the temperatures have had an impact on what I collect. 2 in here. So it has been cooler than the seasonal norms the last couple days, which isn't saying much. I mean, it still might be, 95 degrees. I don't think there are any in here. Not yet. Sometimes they come in later and lay. But I'm encouraged that looks like Ginger laid an egg again. So she's laying an egg. Where'd I see it? She's laying an egg like once every 5 to 7 days. Maybe she was laying all along. Obviously, when they all lay in the big room together, it's impossible to know for sure who's laying unless I see it happen. But now that she's spending nights on that side with the babies, it's obvious that it's her because the babies are too young. So I don't want to wash that yet, but I do want to dry it off. Best to not wash eggs until just before you're going to use them. So I'm not really going to rub it, but she laid it over there by the water bucket, so it's pretty wet. I will wipe the mud off. That might be poop. It's going to go in the refrigerator anyway, so this will be one that I'll feed to the dogs this evening, because it's pretty dirty. Yeah, it's pretty dirty. So we're just going to leave it like that now. Now it's dry. Get my bucket. Put all these eggs in the bucket. We're gonna let the dogs. We're gonna let the geese and ducks out on the back pasture for the day today. Usually they're just out here for about a half a day, but it's the weekend, so I'm home, which I don't know why. I think sometimes that'll make a difference. If a predator was to get a hold of them back here, obviously I would hear the geese sounding an alarm, but I don't know why. The day of the week would make it any easier for me to deal with it. Okay, y'all have fun. Okay, these littles want to go in the backyard though. Okay, hang on, let me get the eggs into the bucket. So I'll probably come out and find a couple more eggs over the course of the day. There's some spots they like to lay in their yard, in their run, rather. It's a beautiful day. It's going to be hot, though, because it's already warm. Let's go.
So I can eat out when I can find stuff like this. This is a chicken fajita omelet from Gloria's. Peppers, onions, fajita chicken, cheese, eggs, tomatoes, and it's fantastic.
I just bought all the ground lamb they had. We've got some bison. I found this at Costco. I don't know if I just haven't looked for it at Costco before. I didn't find ground lamb. They usually have, certain cuts of lamb, but I did get ground lamb at Central Market. And I got a big batch of ground beef. I won't use all of this in the dog food, so about 2/3 of it will be for the dog food today, and then I'll make a couple of meals for us with the rest of it. So I've got one package of my bison in the electric skillet ready to go. And it's just the first part of the process today to get a batch of home-cooked dog food prepared. I got the start of my crock pots going while the meat is browning, so I'm going to use some kale and zucchini in this batch for my veggies. Got my salmon ready to go. I'll get some duck eggs cracked and beaten here in just a bit. And as always, just making progress. So Cooper has figured out what I'm doing today. He knows when the electric skillet and the 2 crock pots come out that it means it's a home-cooked dog food day. So to my veggies, I've added now some ground turmeric, some minced garlic, and a little rosemary. A lot of the benefits that humans get from certain herbs are also benefits for dogs. So I'm going to add some of my home processed calcium powder, and I've got some steel cut oats I'm going to use in this batch. And again, haven't started the duck eggs yet, but that'll be what's added next. Alright, so I have just served the first round of this batch of home cooked, and the rest now I'm getting packaged up to put in the freezer. And this, we've got lamb, bison, beef, salmon, kale, zucchini, oats, some minced garlic, some rosemary, some ground turmeric, and some home processed calcium powder. I didn't put eggs in it this time just because I wasn't really in the mood to add that step, and they will just get a raw egg on top of their dinner every night, and then still some eggs for treats here and there. So it smells fantastic. Of course, they scarfed it down, so I know they enjoy it. And there's another batch in the books, as they say. Here, Coop. Here, Cooper. You want to taste it? That's not cat food. Okay, so I am having something new. I sauteed some broccoli and then put some leftover roast. I made a roast in the crock pot yesterday. Put some leftover roast, some shredded cheddar, and then my duck egg mixed with a little milk. And I'm going to make myself what I hope will be a delicious omelet for this morning. Come on, babies! Come on, babies! That's a good bone, isn't it? Yeah. That's a good bone. That's a big bone. Yeah, that's a big old bone. Yeah. That's a big bone. That's a good bone. Yeah, I'm taking your picture. Hi, honey. Oops. I'll take that. 8 eggs today. Okay, this is pretty sweet. So I didn't know what I was going to do for lunch today. I literally went out to let the ducks into the back pasture. Found an egg that I had not collected this morning. So right out of the nest, meaning it had been laid after I picked up eggs this morning. Came in, cracked it, beat it a little bit in a cup, added some bacon and cheese, and I am gonna have a little omelet for my lunch. I just buttered this plate, popped it in the microwave. I'm gonna cook it a little longer just because you do have to be really careful that duck eggs are completely done before you eat them. And in, a minute and a half, 2 minutes, I have a healthy, tasty, filling lunch. So we had a power outage during a storm about 3 days ago, and it fried the little outlet that the pumps were plugged into. The ducks have not been getting in this pond very much lately as it is, and now it's really dirty because the pumps haven't worked for several days. So I'm draining it to refill it, and I'm not sure what I'm gonna find once it's drained, but something big just jumped when I was moving that pump over there out of the water. So we'll see. Come on. Come on. Come on. You gotta jump on here, honey. Come on. It's just a big frog. Okay, this is harder than it looks. Come on. Honey, don't go back to the other side. Come on. Come on, honey. Come on, honey. I'm getting off here. Okay, come on, honey. You're gonna get eaten. These girls will eat you up. Come on, honey. There you go. Were you in the water too long? Were you in the water too long? Go that way. Go, go, go. Okay, aside from the fact that it's so dry, I guess that's why leaves are falling off the trees already. And it's windy, meaning I have already scooped a couple of batches of leaves out of the water. Ah, here we are, nice and clean, refilling. We'll see how long it lasts. Maybe now that the giant frog is out of the pond, they'll get in it. Go see Ruby. Where's Ruby? Where did Ruby go? Ruby!